Hi everybody, I'm Paul, your host for the next 20 or so minutes, here with Travel into Paradise Cruiser. Today we're going to bring you the Tyco Warbirds Museum in Titusville. We were there last weekend, and boy, could I tell you a lot of things. I'm not here to tout my knowledge of military history or anything, only to say that no matter what your branch of service, you'll find something here that's of interest to you. It was very interesting to walk through. I don't care what campaign you were in, what war you were in, what base you were at, you can find something in this store, this museum, that will be of some interest to you. My wife seemed to think that I needed a new Hawaiian shirt with airplanes on it, but we walked out without it. So that's what I can tell you, that we didn't in fact buy any. But if you're looking for something in military insignia or military planes or anything military related, I'm sure this store can find it for you, or they know where to find it for you. It had a lot more stuff than I saw at the Air Force Museum in Wright-Patterson. It was pretty interesting to go and see everything in it. You have to enter the museum through the gift shop. You don't go out that way, but you come in that way. I guess that's why you pay there too. So anyway, you go into the gift shop, and there may or may not be a tour going on, but the people that give the tours are very, very knowledgeable, and we didn't feel like waiting around for a tour, and we kind of had our own little thing we wanted to go and see anyway. But you go into the gift shop, and there's lots of military insignia and military gifts and various different things. And then you enter into another part of the museum, which is, it's all documentation, pictures and war memorabilia from different wars and different campaigns. And I just never, I've never been in a museum that kind of had it all thrown together without any kind of idea for which is what, you know, Navy, Army. It doesn't matter. You can relate to all of it when you are in and walking around. It's just a good, enjoyable day. We spent about 2 hours there. You could easily spend 2.5. If you're a military buff, you will probably spend a lot of time looking at the various memorabilia in this particular part of the museum. We're going to go outside here in just a minute, and you'll be able to see some of the airplanes. There's 3 hangars, and there's 2 museums. The museum that this part of the museum holds the most of the memorabilia and personal items from people's donation to the museum. The other one is out in the hangar, and we'll be going out there in just a minute.
Over there.
Again, I want to say that this particular weekend, the only thing I had was my junky knockoff cameras and the JVC Visario, which I'm going to think twice before taking this out on the road again. One thing I did notice, if you have children, you want to bring them along, there is a large selection of model airplanes to look at that are displayed throughout the museum and the gift shop. And I saw a lot of kids in here while I was there. Now we're out in the hangar. Most of these airplanes still fly, and they have events throughout the year. The ones that comes to mind for me is it's every year around the 4th of July, but it's the Warbirds. These are the Tyco Warbirds Museum, and most of these all still fly. They get them out, pull them out of the hangar. You see them in the air during the events. Of particular interest is there's a biplane, there's a triplane, softwood camel there, various airplanes from various wars. There's I think an F-4 there, there's a 107, 105. There's quite a few planes here. You can go online and look it up. I think it was about $12 a person to get in, not entirely sure. Robert Polk was with us. Thank you, Robert, for going along with us. We had a great time. I thought this was pretty interesting. Airplanes that get oil changes on a regular basis. They did have, in fact, a P-51 Mustang with a double cockpit, and I've only seen that twice. And I did, in fact, hear somebody say that there was only 200 of them made. As you walk around and look at these planes, you can't help wonder what the pilot or the co-pilot or the gunner must have been thinking. I say that with my reservations, having been in the military, and understand some of the stresses that go with being in the military during a wartime situation. I'm going to
It's an old fighter from the old days.
Cut out here, and I'll cut back in just a little
here.
bit. You'll probably hear me talking in the background a little bit.
Need to fly with the stick here. Wow. Couldn't fly it from the front of the plane, I guess. Pretty basic instrumentation here. Looks like about 4 levers and 2 pedals and you're good to go. Yep. Let's see, 1, 2, how many levers do I see here? I see 1, 2, 3 levers. I don't even see any pedals. I always thought you flew these from the back, these biplanes. I always thought so too. Let's see. Well, there's some, yeah, there's rudder pedals up here.
A couple places have this one for that. 352?
Yeah. I didn't know there was a buff here. Did you see this other plane over here? Yeah. Talk to my radio operator here. Turn on something, turn it up. Check the fuel. Okay. Where's the gray tanks at? I've got to find the gray tanks. Where's the gray tanks at on this thing?
Some of you know me that I'm military and that I find every single museum on our stop to go to. And this is one that I've been waiting to go to. I've seen these planes in action. They fly over Daytona, and the Wings and Waves is the event that we hold in Daytona. It's all about Navy, and well, they have a lot of stuff out there from the Tyco Warbirds. In addition, they have Embry-Riddle rolls a lot of their personal planes out too. They had some helicopters in there, about 3 or 4 helicopters. It was the first time I've ever seen the inside of a helicopter.
Okay, so let's go outside this building. Or we'll go over here and look at this P-51. He said there's only 200 of those Sky Blazers. Okay, so here we are. Yeah, I guess they get oil changes on a regular basis here, huh? How do we get around here? Over here, I guess. Huh? Can't go that way. Huh, gotta go all the way around here. They actually have two. There's one in Louisiana at the military base there. There's one in Warner Robins in the museum there. There's one at Titusville Museum there. Is two there? I know there's one at Tinker also.
Yeah, as you walk around, you'll, if you're military, you will definitely see something that you recall from being in the military. You don't have to be in the Air Force to see something in any of this stuff that you might remember. This is the P-51 double cockpit that I spoke of. They have some interesting pictures of this plane when they pulled it out. It was buried, I guess, in some water for a while, and they're starting to restore it now. It's an F-16 with nothing in it. No engine, no cockpit, no nothing. See, I'm flying my drone up to the cockpit. Not. As you can see, they had removed everything out of it.
Wait, all right. Leaving on the jet plane? I'm not leaving on the top.
Anyway, pretty much most of the paintings on the planes are, they're not original, but they're pretty much close replications of what was on there.
Okay, so we're going to go outside and see a B-52.
And as you might have guessed, this is at an airport, so.
Don't you find it?
Well, that's just the nose part of it.
Yeah, just a note. I find it interesting that they have a Hornet, F-14, F-14, F-15, Hornet, right there.
It was an absolutely perfect day for going to look at airplanes.
This is reconnaissance. This is what they used before they came out with the U-2.
That whole hangar's dedicated to Vietnam.
I even got to sit in the cockpit of a B-52. Boy, what a treat. I'll be looking out over this plane in just 1 minute from the B-52. I've been in many planes from being in the military.
I don't even want to look at it. Okay.
Wow, I just never would have thought that a B-52 looked like this on the inside. Hey, did they come with a standard stereo equipment? Oh, he's not. Where's the bathroom at? I would have never
They
thought
were actually the
these things looked
navigator and map man, I guess.
like that. You know what?
Are we allowed to sit up?
More than 40 years, and I would have never guessed that
the
these things
flight
look like
deck.
this.
I'm actually on the flight deck
Overweight,
here,
working for these guys.
and it's very, very cramped.
No, these are the co-pilot.
Yeah.
Could not stand up. You have to crawl from the stairs coming up to the cockpit. You have to crawl on your knees to get to the cockpit.
Inside of a B-52.
This is a real treat for me to be able to see this plane.
That's an F-16 sitting in front of us.
Goes back to my military days.
But you get an idea for what it looked like.
Off and land, and boy, they were noisy. I can't imagine the pilots that flew these to Vietnam. Pretty much a rattle trap when they took off prior to the new motors. They'd be lucky if they could get them off the ground without what they call an in-flight emergency. In other words, they'd be on their way to take off and then something would break or catch on fire or start smoking, something. They're about 50 years old, those planes, at least. And they're still in our inventory to this day. They are our bomber, our American bomber. If we ever went to war, that'd be our #1 bomber.
What's his name? Robin Williams stuff?
This is the other part of the museum. It's in one of the hangars, in one of the offices in one of the hangars. And there's more memorabilia and uniforms, and there's some cutaways of airplanes and yeah, some models. This is out in the actual hangar. I commend these people for the restoration efforts and their passion for flight and maintaining the history and taking care of things so that they can still fly and people from the future can see how it was back in the day. It's an F-4 sitting there. This is a Navy prop plane. Don't know much about Navy planes, but they're all lettered and they have no things that tells exactly what the plane does and what the designation of the plane was. Most of the time they'll even have what base it was on, or in some cases the Air Force or the Navy. This particular Navy F-4 was stationed on a aircraft carrier, and it has the tail hook. That plane there also was a Navy plane and could take off from a aircraft carrier. There's a half track. I thought it was really interesting because I've never seen a half track before. I didn't know that we used them. I think that's a 111. Swing wing 111. Maybe you're not. Some of you may be asking, what did I do in the military? Well, I was a security police. I was the actual guard on the plane. I went out to the flight line, and when the planes would come in, I would be out there with M16 guarding the plane when it came in from doing a mission or just sitting static on the base waiting for a mission. And I was stationed at a forward base in Europe during the Cold War. And the planes that I specifically guarded were the U-2, the SR-71, RC-135s, KC-135s, EC-135s. You'll see an OV-10 Bronco. We had that out there during our air show. I saw that. That was a close air support reconnaissance vehicle used during the Vietnam War. On our base, we also had C-130s. We had a regular detachment of C-130s that would come in on rotation from Mountain Home Air Force Base. We also had the squadron of KC-135 Strato tankers, and this is what they would send up to refuel all your fighter jets and your bombers. And there's none in any of these pictures, but there was. It looks like a 135, and they made various designations of the airplane. If you look through any of my other videos from, say, Wright-Patterson or Warner Robins, you'll see some of the exact planes that I was involved with. I did in fact guard the back of in 1977. I think Jimmy Carter came into our base and I was on the back of his plane. This particular plane still flies, and this is a B-17, I think.
Wow, fake bombs. You know what?
If I'm wrong, you feel free to write in the comments and correct me on the planes, or if you know something about them.
Yeah, they're airplanes.
Feel free
like
to drop your
Doritos,
notes. I'd love to hear from you.
No, probably not. Please.
Wow, this is hand painted on there.
How many machine guns all over this place? Like a machine gunner.
Look at it.
This nose cone.
Look at the antenna. It's got TV in the front end. This over here says Colonel Bill Lurie and co-pilot Tony Petria.
And then there's a gunner up top and a gunner in the tail.
Wow. Refueling noser. I'm sure you won't get the Air Force to gas you up though.
We're coming around to the last hangar, and in this hangar you'll see this is a very, very old Blue Angels plane. They haven't used, well, there's the P-50.
Yeah, I don't think the Air Force is coming to gas him up.
But you'll see that
So what do they got?
the Blue Angels haven't used these kind of planes in a long, long time. And they probably still fly this one, but it, well, there's one of the prop jobs. I took some static pictures that I felt looked pretty nice. There's the Blue Angels plane. Last time I checked, they were still using T-38s. That's an F-16. It was in the hangar. I tried to get some good pictures of some of the planes. Some static pictures. Also in this hangar, you can't see them. They're back there in the back. I may zoom in. That's an OV-10 Bronco. That they had the front nose part of that in the hangar where all the military insignia and stuff was. That, well, there was another picture of it in there. Anyway, this is a restoration hangar. We weren't allowed in, so you had to take your pictures from far away. Anyway, that concludes the tour. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you'll subscribe and watch for more. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.